Hello, BB27 fans and YouTubers. Welcome. Another chance to talk about Big Brother and week 3, and it is still good. On this one, it's just my opinion, so it's the only thing you can give these days is your opinion. So I'm giving my opinions on this newest episode of the eviction, that the nominations tonight. And this was a good episode. They did the true or false contest, and those are always good. And it depends on your memory. I wanted to stop on the twin contest that they were doing, of the twins that were speaking, giving you information about what they're saying, and you're supposed to remember it, all the details of it. And I was going to try to go back and look at it again, because it just sunk in after the first part started. And I thought, no, I'm not going to remember that kind of stuff anyway. But it was a good contest. And I had wrote down here, Keno will not win on this, because Keno is like a big dumb jock, and he's still going around threatening folks. And I thought, if they don't put him up for nomination, whoever wins, then they're making a big mistake. And so, as this went along, I was writing my trusty notes here. I just realized, I said, you just cannot tell what is going to happen on this episode, because, like I said, the villains are not solid yet to really know. Only one that's the true villain is Keno. And I think Keno made himself stand out because of that crazy hairstyle he's got, where he stacked all his hair on top of his head and he was running around there. And I thought, well, that's kind of like when Ashley went and took that shower. I said, now he just stands out with that hair like that. And but that was his style. Anyway, so after I said Keno would not win, it was on the contest. It was what's my girl name? Mickey and Lauren. And I was rooting for Mickey, but Lauren won. And the thing about Lauren is that she's like an under radar person. I really don't know much of anything about Lauren. All I know is she has a lot of hair and she likes to swing it. It's just, she just likes to go out there. I got hair. I got lots of hair. I think she's trying to get a hair commercial, which she would probably be very good with. But still, that's what I noticed about her. And when she won, it was a puzzlement to everybody, because nobody knew what she was going to do. And she seems to be a very, very nice person. And that much I've gathered. So vengeance was not a part of her game. And the bad thing is that Jimmy is one of her friends, and Jimmy says he is more trustworthy for her than anyone else. I don't think Jimmy's trustworthy for anybody. Jimmy's up there in the Keno range. You just really need to get rid of him, because he's going to be vengeance on wheels if he ever gets back into being a Big Brother head of household. And so Lauren wins. And I did put on here, she's somewhat of an enigma. So I didn't know which way she was leaning, which way she was going. And the house guests were talking the same way. They didn't know which way she was going, which way she was leaning. So they had to wait, and she interviewed everybody. And the fun thing is, when she interviewed Keno came up, and Keno is really demanding with women and stuff. He was kind of like, let's talk and everything. So he gets up there, he says a couple of oddball things to her, and she just turns her back on him. And at first I didn't know what she was doing. And then he says, what are you doing? And she's looking at the screen with nobody on it. And she said, I was just thinking about the whole situation. I thought she just didn't want to talk to him no more. and so Keno hung his head and left the room after that. Let's see. Will talked to her and has talked to her before, I learned in the episode. So I was thinking that he was probably in the clear because she likes him. She thinks he's a good person. And she said everybody likes him. So next, she has Jimmy coming up to her and tell her that he's the one to trust. And then when everyone had a group meeting before she made her decisions, only Vince has a meeting with a lot of people in a room, and then Vince does the buddy with her in hopes of taking himself off of the block. And he tells her what the group was thinking. And so I thought, okay, he's trying to be on her side like Jimmy is. I'll tell you, it worked. So they didn't go up, but after that, they did have a little segment with all the ladies exercising, and that was really funny. Rachel's trying to give Ashley exercise tips and about making her core energy strong, and Ashley was trying to do the exercise and she couldn't keep her legs straight. She had pulled her. They were doing this thing where they're on the ground, feet and knees, and trying to lift up a back leg, and when Ashley lifts up her back leg, it goes sideways. And Rachel said, no, lift it up. And she said, I am lifting it up. But she was lifting it sideways. And, Rachel was sitting there like, this poor child, she can't even exercise right. So that was funny, watching the girls exercise. Now back to seriousness. I wrote down on here, Ava is just strange. She's a flower girl, and she looks like she's a direct descendant of somebody in the 60s, in the hippie area, and I still say you can't trust Ava, because Ava, she turned on one of the guys on the before, where she went and told everything they said. So I don't really trust Ava. But one thing I did notice, that Ava and Vinny, while they were talking, I thought, well, that might make a good little couple. They kind of, he's odd. He's got a little hat on all the time, like he's in a cartoon getting ready to think up something, and his head is going to explode when he finds the answer, like in a cartoon. And but I thought, I thought they made a good little couple. And after that, who was it? I wrote down, Keno just didn't seem like he was vibing with Lauren, the head of household. So I kind of figured out he's got to be number one for the 3 people eviction. And Mickey, the little young lady with the blonde braids, she has some type of power to take away the head of household, and she was trying to consider on whether using it. Well, she listened, she talked, she said she was going to use it, and then she started to realize she wasn't in the line of fire. So Mickey kept her power and let things happen the way it was supposed to. And Lauren talked to Will and asked him if he could be a pawn like Kelly is going to be a pawn. Of course, you know, Will didn't like that, but I have to give him credit. He didn't do a Keanu on her or a Jimmy or anything like that. He just went along, okay, I don't like it, I don't want to do it, but if that's what you want to do it. And I think it comes to with the territory for the older people that are in the house, especially men, they get nominated early a lot. And so he did, when they did the nominations reveal that Lauren revealed, she revealed Keanu first, which, you know, everybody's just waiting for him to go. But if they offer another physical contest, he's probably gonna win. Or they give some type of other power. He's been pretty good about getting the other powers. So if Will plays and it's physical, since they've already had their mental contest, then it's in his favor to win a physical contest. So, and as far as Will goes, I'm a Will fan, but I know Will is older, and I know how they like to vote them out, and I don't think he's physically able to win a contest like Keanu can. And as far as it goes with Kelly, well, Kelly's kind of wiry herself. Nobody really wants to vote Kelly out. She hasn't created a situation where other people are mad at her for anything. So if I was in there, even I wouldn't vote for her. It would either be Keanu, and if one of them gets off the block, it would be whoever she puts up next. I wouldn't vote for Will because I like Will. So, but right now it's Will, Kelly, and Keanu. And so we just have to wait until Wednesday to see how that turns out. All right. That's my review of week 3 of Big Brother Eviction. And it's really good, and I'm enjoying it. I watched it on Paramount this morning, so I'm fresh off the Paramount trail here. So I think Big Brother's doing good for Paramount, because, you know, they always talking about they having hard problems for this and that, but I like the Paramount streaming because I got it. Well, anyway, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next go round. Take care, YouTubers and BB fans. Take care.